One of my favorite movies as a kid was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I had it on VHS tape, and I have seen it so many times that I could probably recite the entire movie to you line for line right now. Now, I won't do that, but I will say this film has an incredible soundtrack, and it is all about how the gang gets transported into a video game, with the only way out being to beat all of the levels. And let me tell you, as a kid who loved video games, that plotline really hit the spot. Well, today I want to talk to you about the video game adaptation for the film and that game's speedrunning community. First released on the original PlayStation with a separate game released on the Game Boy Advance, this was a game that I was desperate to play as a child. You see, at the end of the VHS tape, they added on some behind-the-scenes footage of making the movie, as well as an advertisement for the PlayStation video game.
THQ has a new game out called Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase for the PlayStation game console.
Now, like I said, I loved video games, and so watching that advertisement was actually an essential part of watching the film as a whole. I never owned a PlayStation, so the best I could do was to just live vicariously through the ad. Over time, I would forget about the movie and this game until just a few weeks ago. Something reminded me of Cyber Chase, and I've really been into speedrunning recently, so I thought, maybe I should look up that game on speedrun.com. So I did, and boy was I ever surprised to see that the world record for the game happened just the week before. I couldn't believe that this very random, very niche game was still being kept alive by at least a few people. My friends, welcome to the Speedrun Spotlight for Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase.
Hi, I'm Neutrino, and I'm the 80% world record holder for Scooby-Doo and Cyber Chase for PlayStation 1. My story with Cyber Chase starts in about 2005, actually. That was one of the first games we had for the PlayStation. And it's funny, one of my big memories of it is being at my cousin's house, and it was him that had the game. And my memory of that game is pestering him so much to play that he got so annoyed that he took the disc out of the tray, held it in both hands in front of me, and snapped it. That's how badly I loved playing that game when I was a kid. And so fast forward to it was 2017, mid-2017. I ordered the game off of eBay just because I wanted to play it again. I'd seen it, and a couple months after that I started doing speedruns for it.
Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is a very simple speed game. In fact, Neutrino refers to it as a death run style game.
Where there's a start of the level, there's an end of the level, and you just got to get to the end. And there's plenty of pitfalls in between. The run really doesn't start until it's like 30 minutes into the run. It doesn't exist. No nerves exist until that point.
This means that for the vast majority of the game, it's mostly about memorizing inputs rather than reacting to any specific situations. Because of this, I was curious about where it's even possible to find more time to save, beyond simply having a perfect run. So I asked him about the biggest time save that they have found in the game's history.
So the levels are kind of linear, right? And there's not really a lot to find. It's really the boss fights where a lot of the time saves came from. And the biggest one by far is Arctic 3. In it, the platform is like jagged around the edge, like broken ice. And we can manipulate the AI of the polar bear to go into like a corner on the right side. Yeah, he can like stand in one spot, and then you stand just south of him, and he like dashes into the edge, and that was the biggest time save. I actually found that one.
Now, with Neutrino's world record run, he ended up getting a 44:45, which was 2 seconds faster than the previous world record, also held by him. The first 30 minutes are a usual run, where he makes very few mistakes and is mostly on track to getting the record by a few seconds, which could easily slip away. That is until the one major RNG point of the game, which saved him a whopping 10 seconds.
What is that RNG? Oh my god! Are you watching this? There's almost no RNG in the game, right? At the end of each level, Scooby or Shaggy can say like one of two voice lines, and there's a good one, which takes less time, and a bad one. And you can't control that, so I don't even think about that. If I get good at RNG, nice. If I don't, whatever. But then you come to like the major RNG point of the run, and if you watch my world record, you'll see the best RNG anyone's ever gotten, where you're fighting the Phantom Virus in the pyramid, and 3 waves of mummies fall from above you, and you got to knock them off the side. But it's completely random where they land, in what direction they're facing, the pattern they land in, how close they are to the edge. And if you get bad RNG, you can play well and execute it well, but the RNG is really a killer there. I was playing well, and then in the last phase, you can just see the 4 dots appear, like right beside me, to the right of me, and that's insane RNG. I've never gotten that ever before. Not even anything comparable to that. It was just unreal.
Unfortunately, this 10-second lead that Neutrino gets ends up going downhill very fast, as you may have noticed by the fact that the world record only ended up being about 2 seconds faster.
So after Egypt 3 is the final world amusement park, and my blood pressure was so high, my heartbeat is going, because like I said, I care so much about this damn game, I can't believe it. And any mistake, like taking a hit can lose you a second, and I just took way too many hits, basically, and I lost like 10 seconds, and I think I was actually just on par going into the final fight, and just by some miracle, I played the fight really well, and that just saved the 2 seconds that was enough to clutch out the 44-45. Yay! Oh my fucking god.
So, of course, a huge congrats to Neutrino for knocking down the record by a few seconds, but now the big question is, of course, what's next?
I think I'm capable of saving another 10 seconds. Maybe 15 if I get a god run. It's going to be difficult though, like you say, because I get in my head a lot, and when you're playing for so long, you're playing for like half an hour, and by this point, my run's pretty much perfect. So the entire time from now on, I'll be like +2, +3, +4 maybe. Then I'll get to Egypt, where I'm up against the community gold, and I'm likely to lose like 6 seconds there. You just got to keep strong and know that you'll save it back in the last world.
My friends, the community for this game is relatively small, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Cyberchase got me like my first friend in speedrunning, really. Don't Feed Please, I've been a friend of his for like 5 years, ever since I started. We talk so much about the game, we discuss strats, we think about how we can find new things. People will post a time now and then, and maybe they'll improve it 3 or 4 times, but no one really seems to push it as far as we have.
I would also be remiss to not talk about another major community member by the name of DN Angel, and I found out about them because I noticed something in Neutrino's world record run where he talks about giving someone a shout out and then he doesn't end up doing it.
If I PB or get record, there is one specific person who's getting name dropped. I'm gonna save that shout out for a better run, and hopefully you understand. Yeah, so the shout out I was gonna give was to a user called DNA Angel, or DN Angel, I think it is. He's the person that added the game to the site back in like 2012, I think. And last year, the year before, he passed away, unfortunately. And he's a real life friend of Don't Feed Please, and so that was rough. And when I get the run, he's being mentioned. The run is like a 44 3x. Unfortunately, I couldn't have clutched that out with my current run. I lost so much time in the last world.
My friends, this speedrun looks like a lot of fun, and I would definitely encourage you to try it out for yourself. I asked Neutrino if he had any advice for new players, but even he said the game is very easy to get started with.
The game is so simple. I don't think there's anything I can say that maybe a viewer wouldn't get from watching a run. Like some speed games, it's like, oh, whoa, that's possible? You can do that? Like clipping through walls. Oh, maybe a casual player wouldn't have found that, but no, Cyberchase is just simple. And that's one of the things I love about it, really. It really feels like we have it figured out. And so it's just me executing perfectly for 3/4 of an hour and stringing it all together. That's what I like.
So if you do want to get started, you're encouraged to join the Scooby-Doo speedrunning community Discord and go to the Cyberchase channel. Neutrino also has an introductory video guide, which will tell you all about the techniques of the run, and it's very easy to understand. I want to say thank you very much to Neutrino and Don't Feed Please for agreeing to help me with this video, and a big thanks to you for tuning in. Feel free to check back in later if you like speedrunning content, and until next time, farewell.
Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, available now from THQ for the PlayStation game console and Game Boy Advance.